Okay, you had the same. Ah, interesting. I had a different version. I had the one with a single page version. Okay, hi everyone. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right, as they say. Yes, yes, yes. So we shall be starting this particular paper. This one is paper 1 of 2024 June. The lovely, beautiful paper. Okay, so let's see how much of the paper we can go through. I don't think we can do enough of it. Let's see. Okay, I had one more thing left to do. If you guys can just give me a second. I'm just hoping everybody is doing all right. All right, all right, all right. And your Ramadan was nice. Exam session are going well. Whoever's joining us. Yes, yes, yes. Mm-hmm. 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 And so, okay. Alrighty, alrighty, alrighty. So now I have that with me also. And I'm going to share the paper with everybody also. I think you have, these are the papers that I have. So this class is till 9 o'clock. Okay. This class is till 9 o'clock. And then we shall, have more sessions later. But right now it's till 9 o'clock. All right. And what I'll do is I'll share the paper my screen also. I'll share my screen also. And then we can begin beautiful class, you know. Now, I want to have fun with this, or at least with the content. I hope this is productive, you know. I hope you guys are seeing my screen. Okay. Alrighty, alrighty, alrighty. Yes, okay. So also, just give me a second. Okay. For those of you joining from YouTube, you can also join the Zoom to ask questions directly. That's the Zoom link if you want to join the Zoom session. This is the Zoom session being also broadcast live, so you can do that. You can stay on YouTube, that works. You'll have to register your email address for it. Alrighty. Okay, so shall we begin? Okay, so I have the paper in front of me. I'm going to take out both the examiner report and the marking scheme. The examiner report tells me what were the toughest questions, okay? So there are about 5 that were harder than any other question, okay? And since these are the harder questions, maybe I should do these ones first, but let's start with the start and then we can go through this, all right? So I have those guys, I have you guys, I have this there. Okay, so let's begin. What do you say? Okay. All right. So looking at question number 1 right here that we have is which pair of formulae is correct? That seems pretty easy. Here, all you got to understand is that you got to remember the charges of each of the ions. You'll have to remember that silver is a 1 plus ion, ammonium is a 1 plus ion, nitrate is a 1 minus ion, so that makes that incorrect. Carbonate is a 2 minus ion. In the next case, potassium is a 1 plus ion, hydrogen carbonate is a 1 minus ion, so that's why even that is wrong. In option C, Ag is 1 plus, which you already have. H is 1 plus, carbonate is 2 minus, K is 1 plus, phosphate is 3 minus. Okay, then this seems to be correct, Charlie. And you might say, well, how do I know that? Well, the 4th one has a mistake because this one is incorrect. It's supposed to be NH4 thrice PO4. I think only the really, really struggling would have gotten this question wrong. Yeah. Yes, all recordings are gonna be uploaded. All right. Now, as far as just 1 second, I think I missed out one thing. Not in this. Okay. 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 All right. Okay, we have that. Okay, can't see the screen now. You can. It's there now. All of you. Okay. Too many things happening. All right. It takes me a minute to get used to this. Okay, so the reason why I'm doing paper 1, by the way, is first is it covers more chapters than paper 2. So with paper 1's questions, what's the charge on NO3? Is 1 minus. Okay. Then the second question says how many molecules are present in 62 grams of white phosphorus P4. So the way this works out is you first find out the MR. So you first find out the MR, then you find the number of moles, this is moles, and then you find the number of particles. Remember, small n is number of moles, large N is number of particles. And the relationship is number of particles is the number of moles into the Avogadro's constant. So it's number of moles into Avogadro's constant. How many number of moles exist? How do I find number of moles? Number of moles is mass over molar mass, which means I need to know the MR. MR of P4. What is P4? Phosphorus is 31. So P4 is 31 times 4. So basically it's 62 grams over 31 times 4. Now if I know any math, I know I can cross this out, and this is 2, and then 2 and 4 becomes 2. So this is moles are half. So the moles are half, and the relationship is this. What I'll do is I will put this as, okay, half times L, which is L over 2. So therefore in this case the answer is Charlie. Okay, good, awesome, awesome. And anybody's wondering, just for this sake, you have the I'm just sharing the answers with you also. Okay. Then what we have, the next question. So I'll scroll down to question number 3. Is everybody okay so far? All good? Okay. Now question number 3 is the first 8 successive ionization energies of 2 elements are shown below. Now successive have only one purpose. Successives tell me the group number by using what? Outer shell electrons. And you might say, how do I find the outer shell electrons? You're looking for a big jump in values. For example, the big jump is right here. What does that mean? It means that everything before the big jump is outer shell electrons. So this fellow has how many electrons in the outer shell? 7. Which means this fellow is group 17. So you're looking for group 17. These two are group 16, these two are group 17. Okay? And then, okay, 7 and 1. Now this, now it also wants for period 3. So which of these is in period 3? Bromine is in period 4. Chlorine is in period 3. The end of your, what you call it? Your exam paper has the periodic table attached to it. So you can see that from there. All right. Capish? Understood? Any questions? Chalega? Chalega, 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 chalega. Chalega, chalega. The only way is to keep repeating them. Practice, 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 and repeat. Practice, 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 and repeat. That's the way I like it. No, Adam. No. I wish no. I wish Google would give me $5 million a year, and so would Microsoft, and I would do anything and everything on YouTube for free for the rest of my life. But since that's not happening, we have this, the next best thing. Okay, moving on. Now, number 4 says, in which pair are both species free radicals? Now, first of all, free radicals have to have what? Yeah, free radicals have to have what? They have to have an unpaired electrons. All right. They have unpaired electrons, and okay. And secondly, they have unpaired electrons. That's important to know. They have unpaired electrons. Now, in which pair are both species free radicals? You have an unpaired in their configuration. So the way this works out is you've got to figure out, okay, well, let's write them down. Let's write chlorine first and oxygen first. Chlorine is 3p5, 3s2, 3p5. So the 3s, okay, sorry, I'll make a box right here. And this is 3s, and I'll duplicate this for 3p. Duplicate, and duplicate. Now this is 3s and 3p. I'll do the same for oxygen. Okay, I got them here. And then you might say, what are you writing this for? So I'm just writing the elements first. Oxygen is 2s, right? Not, what is it? 2s. 2s, 2p4. So in chlorine's case, the elements configuration is this. And in oxygen's case, the elements configuration is this. Okay. So now we have both chlorine atom and oxygen atom have an unpaired electron. Then option number 2. So when I look at option number 2, I should duplicate this. Now what is option number 2 asking for? Let's talk about option number 2. This is 2. You want it for chlorine minus. When we make chlorine minus, okay, you add an extra electron here. No longer, this is no longer the free radical. And O2 minus, also no longer free radical. Now let's look at the third one. Now the third one, I'll take the original molecules configurations for chlorine and oxygen. And this is Cl. So it can't be 2. So that means it rules out delta. Now 3 is Cl and O minus. When I do O minus, that's the extra electron in O minus right there. Which this is Cl and O minus. This is O2 minus and Cl minus. So both of these have unpaired electrons. So this one is correct. 1, 3. And the last one is Cl plus and O2 plus. So again, and you have to do it for the electron and box diagram. And I'm going to do 4 right here. So this fellow is done right here. And for Cl plus, you remove one of these paired electrons. And O2 plus, you will remove one of these and one of this. That's O2 plus. So unpaired, 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 unpaired. So this is also unpaired. So the answer therefore is alpha. Yes. All right. That's how we figured out. I've written down the configuration for all of these like this. Yeah. Saad, what are free radical species? How do I? No, Adam, I'm not live on this daily. This is just for now. And Saad, what are radical species? Really? You don't know what they are? That would be a shame. I think you need to study theory again. All right. So, yeah, you guys got this right? Some of you did this. And bromine is in period 4. Thank you, Isha, for Varda. Jihan, sorry, I just asking a question right now. I always believe topicals are better learning than yearlies. Not at the moment. I've not confirmed the schedule for the next live session yet. Okay, we've had one for paper 2. This is for paper 1, and we'll have more. Okay. Moving on. So can I continue? Okay. Now, this was one of those difficult questions that people found most difficult. The most common chosen answer here was B, 1 and 3 only, because they were looking for chlorine atom and they had learned that chlorine atom is a radical, so that's all they used. It is a radical, but so was Cl plus and O2 plus. So a free radical by definition is any species that has one or more unpaired electrons in orbitals. Okay, that's important. So Cl plus, O2 plus, O atom, O minus, sorry, I have all unpaired electrons. Okay, hence the option is alpha. Okay. Yes, Krivi, it will be sent. Okay, understood? Then we move on to the next question. What is the next question? Yes, where is the next question? Oh, it's right here in front of me. How stupid of me. How is utterly stupid of me? Yes? Okay then. Moving on, please. Okay. Now, which shape correctly is predicted by Vesper theory? 2 bonds and 2 lone pairs is what? Not linear. 2 bonds and 2 lone pairs is also not tetrahedral. It's bent. Right. Yes. 3 bonds and 1 lone pair is trigonal pyramidal. 3 bonds and 1 lone pair is not trigonal planar. So 2 bonds and 2 lone pairs is bent and 3 bonds and 1 lone pair is pyramidal. Easy question. I think this probably is the easiest question on the whole paper. Everybody should have gotten this right. Yep. Now here, this is a question I've seen quite often. In which species does the underlying atom have an incomplete outer shell? Now you can solve for all of them, but when you start solving them, the first one is the answer. Because boron is group 3. So outer electrons are already how many? 3. So when boron has 3 outer electrons, 1, or let's call it cross, 1, 2, 3. And then you got fluorines. How many fluorines? 3. So if I make one fluorine here and then I duplicate that to make another one right there, and if I do that, that's literally how I've shared all my electrons. And fluorines is the, I can make the dots, F, dot. So when I make the bonding of BF3, I start realizing that boron, and you start realizing, by the way, that group 3 and group 2, when they make covalent bonds, it's always going to be in an incomplete orbital. Okay? And so when you have this, the answer would have to be alpha, right here. Okay? And you don't have to even worry about the rest of them. Bakhtavar, could you suggest an easier to learn these? I struggle with these. Bakhtavar, the only way to do is rote learn it. Rote learn again and again and again and again and again. Just keep trying to memorize. It's like me trying to remember every kid's name, right? You got to keep memorizing. That's what you do. That's the only way. There is no other way. Hi, you can understand the shapes, but the learning is just like, you've got to, Now, if anybody's interested in the other options, okay, fine, I'll draw all the other options too. Though, you don't need to. But, since somebody is asking, I will do that. So, I will move this and I will make this smaller. Oh, no, I don't want to duplicate this. I want to make this smaller. So, I do this. So, this is BF3. Then, if I do CH3 minus, you see, you need to understand that a C has 3 H's. 1, 2, oh come on, 2, 3. Okay, and it says C has how many electrons in the outermost shell? Carbon has 4. So 1, 2, 3 bonded with H, fourth one unbonded, and H 1 dot, 2 dot, 3 dot. Now, right now, how many does the underlying atom have? Incomplete. You might say it's not 8, Bilal. It's not, but it has a minus charge. And the minus charge means that the central atom has gained 1 electron. So the outside electron is this blue dot. And once it has gained that, it now has an octet. So that's how this completes an octet. I'm glad. I like. It's quite simple. Alright, it is quite simple. The charge on, I like how you said it, Jihan. The charge on polyatomic ions is always with the central atom. In fact, more precisely, the charge on a polyatomic ion implies is the central atom that is gaining or losing electrons. Right? Yes. Yeah. Now the British accent. My 12-year-old nephew can do the British accent much better. He spent 10 years in Reading, England. So, he's like, got me glass of water. Yeah, water. British. But no. Yes. Okay. Somebody said I'm such a vibe. Somebody on YouTube just said I'm such a joke. So I don't know which one to believe. I just deleted somebody's comment calling me a joke and not a teacher. And one person called me a vibe. So, yeah, I'll also take the vibe one for sure, obviously. Why wouldn't I? It's me. But I'm just saying, potato, potato. Potato, potato. No, it's tomato, tomato. Tomato, tomato. Okay, that's the one. All right. I believe that absolutely. If I believed every stupid comment people made, I would be miserable. This is not a miserable guy's face. It's a happy guy's face. Happy on pizza and whatever else people are happy on. Okay. I am. Yes, I agree. I am. You guys, oh yes, you guys have only been seeing my videos, right? Oh, I wish I could have jokes in the video. I am pretty much fun. Social anxiety, fears, Bilal. Well, I'm an introvert, Jahan, so the only place I'm completely free is in a classroom. You put me in a party, I have extreme anxiety. I have ADHD also. So anxiety, ADHD, and that's what makes me less boring than people. Anyways, we have a whole crowd on YouTube also watching. So why was it not A? It is A, boss. Muhammad Ali, I'd like to take whatever you are taking, because you are in a state which just seems to be lost in the world, Muhammad Ali. I'd love to take. It was A, because I drew A. Now, if you notice, here carbon is completing an octet, and the question says incomplete, which is the opposite of complete. The word in means opposite of complete. Here in boron, we had somebody asking, why is this incomplete? Because it has 6 out of 8, and octet is 8 electrons control. Here we have 6. So 6 out of 8 is incomplete. I do. I have been evaluated. I have ADHD. I'm on some of the spectrum. Asher on 20 hertz says, let's move on to the next question. Fine, Asher. Jeez, Louise. What's got you in a mood? Moving to the next question. Fine, guy can't have enough fun in a class. I swear to God. Swear to God. In this question, it should be assumed that nitrogen behaves like an ideal gas. I wish I could do the same about all of you, assuming you all behave like ideal students. Ta-da! First mistake of life ever. Okay, which means that we can apply the gas laws. That means we can apply PV equals to nRT. That's what they really mean. So what volume is occupied by a certain mass of nitrogen? Here, understand that when you give a gas, it is going to be in its molecular formula. So when I want to find the number of moles of nitrogen, it'll be mass over molar mass. I will take the mass as 1 gram, but the molar mass will be N2's molar mass, which is 28. So 1 over 28 is the number of moles. And then I know some of you struggle with algebra. I have no idea why. I just love it. So I'll just plug in the values. So I have 120 kilopascals. Convert that into pascals by multiplying by 1000. Volume is what we want to find. I'll just find it in meter cube and then convert that to, what do you call it? dm cube. And then moles is 1/28. What is R? R is 8.31. And what is T? T is not 50. Absolute temperature is 273 plus 50. It's not delta T, it's just T. Delta T, you could say 1 degree is 1 Kelvin, but T, Kelvin, you are at 273 plus 50. So you have that, you do the math for V. What do you get for math for V here? I have to hit my calculator, turn it on. 8.31 times 273 plus 50 is, okay, divided by 28. So 1200 into 1000 divided by my answer. I am getting what? What am I getting? Something really wacky I'm getting. Let me do this again. So 273 plus 50 is the temperature. Then into 8.31, this divided by 28, I get 95.86. So on the right hand side, I got 95.86, and this is 1200 times V. So V is 12, 0, 1, 2, 3. I get volume as, oh, what happened here? Okay. Somebody is screwing with me. Oh, shite. Guys, 1 second. Something. This stupid Zoom does a problem all the freaking time. I don't know why. Okay, yeah, I just stop for some other reason, guys. Don't worry. The question is fine. I'm just stopping it for some other reason right now. If you guys forgive me, just give me. Yeah. This is somebody's sign. I was just trying to remove this sign. I don't know who's doing this annotation, but how do I remove that? That's the problem. Okay. Guys, somebody is... okay. Yeah, I just did. I don't know how. I just literally disabled notifications. I just can't clear them up. It's so strange. It is so strange. That's exactly what I'm doing right now. But it's bad. It's done. Okay. Okay. Hello again. So what do we have then? Sorry about that. Thanks. A comfortable good score is 33, 34 in this. So when you do this math, what do you get? I got a very small value. I got 7.988 times 10 power minus 4 meter cube. So when I convert that into dm cube, I just multiply that by 1000. So that gets me 7.988 times 10 power minus 1, which should be 0.7988 or 0.8. What's the closest answer? Oh, it is bravo. So the answer is bravo, bravo, bravo. Got it? Don't worry. You don't worry. Somebody said, what's a comfortable good score? You can get 28 at times and get an A. You can get 29 at times and get an A. Okay? There is, just saying this right now, I'll take a 1 minute break. Azan's happening right now. I want to just make sure that I take a 1 minute break and then start again, if that's okay with all of you. All right? Okay. Yes, I use a graphics tablet. Absolutely. All right. I'm just azan. So I'll just do that. There's an azan happening. All right. Yes, I do at times. Thank you for the peek. You love tech, Bakhtavar. Okay. Yep. I use, actually, it's different. So let me answer the question before we start. I use, if I'm doing a live session, I use GoodNotes and I use a graphic tablet so I can have a pointer with me. When I'm recording lectures, I used to use the iPad and explain everything with it. So now I use GoodNotes. I record my screen. I use ScreenFlow to record my screen. I use a graphics tablet. I also hide the bar above the GoodNotes bar. I change the thing. I do many things. I love technology too. All right. All right. I know you don't get such a vibe from my videos because there is no face in front of the videos. There's nobody making jokes. There's nobody saying a stupid comment. So there are no vibes in a video. The video is just a video. Maybe we should just have one chemistry course, just chemistry through jokes. That would be something, wouldn't it? Anyways, let's start this. Some of us are watching the lesson to continue. So I'm going to start this now. Okay. The real question was the comfortable overall score for chem. For overall comfortable score between the 3 units, paper 1, paper 2, paper 3 is about, yes, that. Every year they get that. You can get that, but I think 70% marks is an A, generally. It's a high, paper 1 gets you, paper 2 is where you score marks in, mainly, you know. So that's what we have. Composite is the best idea in the world, in fact, because when you do A2, your A1 theory becomes even better. And so you score higher in your A1 components in composite, which then boosts up your overall grade, is what my recommendation is always. Composite always better than AS, A2 separate. So here, oh God, 1 second. Stop. Delete. Okay. So I don't know what the answer is, Javeen. Oh, sorry, Javeen keh raha hu, Farha. I'll just solve it. Now here it says consider the 4 molecules. You've got a branched alkane here. This is a branched alkane. A CH3 thrice on a CH. That's that. CH3 is thrice on a CH. That's that structure. You've got a 3 carbon alcohol, a 3 carbon polar molecule, and a 4 carbon straight chain alkane. So you got non-polars and you got polars, and you want increasing boiling point. So that's the easiest thing. Of all the 4, the highest boiling point to do this faster would be what? Is the highest boiling point would be for this fellow. What's this fellow? Alcohol, because it has hydrogen bonding. It's the strongest, right? So that's the strongest. 2 is going to have the highest boiling point. And 3 will be just before that. So that rules out A and C. Now you got B and D. Now between A and 1 and 4, they're both polar, but one straight chain, one is branched. Branched has weaker intermolecular forces, therefore lower boiling point. So 1 is going to have the lowest boiling point in these 4, which means the answer for this is bravo, bravo, bravo. Yeah. Best score for P2 is 60 out of 60. Now, if you're wondering why is 3 just before 2, because 3 is polar, and polar has permanent dipole attraction, which is stronger than the induced dipoles of 1 and 4. So yeah. I know somebody asked for the best score, meaning you can get 48 and 45 also and get an A. Is 80 in paper 4? 80 in paper 4 is an A star, by the way, Adam. 80 out of 100 in paper 4 is an A star, not even an A, it's an A star. Asher, enough for a distinction. You can, it's all about not past papers. It's knowing every single theory and knowing your intelligence will get you the A, not doing past papers, actually. Paper 4 is for second years, not for first years. Okay, moving on. 324 is easily an A. Easily an A. Now it says ethane can react with fluorine to produce 1,2-difluoroethane. And they've given the delta H of the reaction and bond energies. And what we need to find out is the bond energy of CF. So there are two ways to do this. One is bonds broken minus bonds formed is delta H. And the other, which I prefer, is just break everybody's bond. Meaning, write these guys here, C2H4F2. But I think that might be a lot more math here. So my method might be longer, which is what I do is I put the atoms here. 2 carbons, 6 hydrogens and 4 fluorines. And then I break every single guy's bonds. But I think that is a longer process. You might be better off just looking at the net change. So when I do the net change now, that because I see many bonds staying as is. So what I do is I write the original molecule and write the and then I make the final compound. So when the final compound was C2H4F2, which means only 2 of the CH bonds become F, and you make 2 new HF bonds. So what's being broken? And that's the key. 2 FF are being broken and 2 CH are being broken. So now that makes it easy to solve, because now when I do delta H for the reaction, bonds broken are, what are the bonds broken? 2 CH bonds are broken and 2 FF bonds are broken. Bond breaking is endothermic minus bond forming. So what are new bonds being made? The new bonds are CFs and 2 HFs. So new bonds are 2 CFs, and I'm sorry, let me write this better, 2 CFs plus 2 HFs. That's it. And this should equal to the overall enthalpy change minus 960. Minus 960. And so I'll just plug in the values. Okay, I might have moved this all to the left, and I'll bring it right here. And so 2CH. So 2CH is 2 times 410 plus 2 times 158. You add them up, minus 2CF. You don't know what that is, you call that X. You call it 2X plus 2 times 562. All of this equals to minus 960. And when you do the math, X will come out to be a positive value. And in that case, this is number 9. I don't want to use my calculator, so I'm assuming my math is correct, and the answer will be Charlie based on this. Yeah. Why what? I have no answer to why. Because there is the math in front of me. This is the math. It's like somebody saying y is 2 minus x is equal to 5. Why is x, or like 5 minus x is equal to 2? Why is x 3? Because the math is like that. For those of you wondering where this 960 is coming from, the 960 came from the original question, where the delta H of a reaction is bonds broken minus bonds formed. The delta H of a reaction is bonds broken minus bonds formed. When we do these past paper questions, my assumption is that you guys have all at least done the theory, like the basic theory, the theory that might at least get you a B. And then when you do these questions and the questions are like, why this? Then I'm like, if you haven't done the theory and you're here for past papers, I'd suggest do the theory first. Yeah, then you're all wasting time. If somebody's asking me if I have 10 hours to go and should I learn theory, or if I have not learned theory, or do past papers, I'll say till your last breath you should forget past papers, do theory. You should only do past papers if you have done the theory. Do not think that past papers are a shortcut to quickly learning theory. That ain't ever going to happen. That is O levels. That's not A levels. If you think you're going to learn from past papers, that ain't happening. There's no repetition happening. Okay? Now, if you did the other method, the only problem would be it'll just be a lot of math. But I can show also how you would do for this. Let me show that to you. So when you have this equation, this is minus 960. And here you are breaking one CC bond. So all of these arrows have energy values. This is plus 350 for 1 CC and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for 6 CHs, 410. This one is 2 times 158. This one is 1 CC bond, which is 350, plus 4 CH bonds, which are 410, and 2 CF bonds, which is 2x, plus this arrow 2HF to 4Fs, plus 2 HFs, which is how much? 2 times 562. So here you have many more math numbers. There is more likelihood that you'll get something wrong. This is all bonds being broken to make gaseous atoms. This is method is using the Hess cycle to solve bond energy questions. These are gaseous atoms. Okay? Thank you, Isha. I'm sorry. I blanked out at that name. Is it Isha or Isha? Alrighty then. Let's go on to the next thing. Yeah. I know, Hafsa, I am amazing. Absolutely. I'm glad you feel that way. I feel it too. Tell that to my 11-year-old daughter. She's getting too big and she thinks she's the one who's amazing and not me. Alrighty. Because we cancelled the rest of them out, remember, that's the only change. Look at the highlighted region. Somebody's asking me why only 2 CHs, because look at the highlighted region. Okay. Now, where'd my camera go? You mean this? Now, in this question it says, which equation has enthalpy change equal to the standard enthalpy change of formation of so what is the formation of sodium oxide, where you make 1 mole of sodium oxide first. So that also crosses out delta and alpha. And then you make them from elements in the standard states. So you need 2 sodiums and 1 oxygen atom. That's found in Charlie. Delta, Bravo, it's wrong because you have 2 O's. So the correct answer here is Charlie. Yeah. First Gen Z guy. I'm not in my 50s, Adam. How rude. I'm only 45. Now, if somebody had to, if the question didn't give you option, it said you had to write the equation for the formation of sodium oxide. So you know sodium is a 1 plus ion, oxide is a 2 minus ion. So when you write the formula is Na2O, solid, which means you need 2 NAs in the standard state, those are solid, but you need only one oxygen atom. But oxygen is found as O2. So how do I make O2 into one oxygen atom? Because formation is for 1 mole of product. So I will need half. So that's my equation. And I can write the equation and then go find it. And I found it in Charlie. That's it. Yeah. Adam is 45. Yes. Hisab dena. I'm 45. So yeah, I'm okay. 45, 40s is the new 30s anyway. So I've been teaching for 23 years. If I'm 30 right now, I started teaching when I was 7. That would be really awkward, right? Yes. Okay, moving on. For those of you who have faster questions, I would suggest join the Zoom chat. All right, moving on, guys. Good to see some of you here. It's fun class. Yeah, the first class is always fun compared to the rest. Then the next one. Now in this question here, right here, nitrogen dioxide reacts with water. And somebody was writing to me somewhere else, and I said just say it on Zoom chat. That's what I was saying. Okay. I was muting because I had to mute before I said it, but I said it and I muted afterwards. So ignore that. Let's come back here. All right. Ignore what I said. Now, nitrogen dioxide is NO2. It's an acidic oxide, by the way. You should know that. It's acidic. And look, it made acids. But in this case, NO2 is a +4 oxidation state. And here I am, just because I have a keta, here is +3 and I know this is +5. What do we have? What do we call this? We know already. Once I've done this, you already know what it's called. When the same element is going from +4 to +3, that's reduction and oxidation. That reaction is disproportionation. Oxygen always will still -2, and hydrogen will stay -1 in compounds unless it's a metal hydride. Hydrogen is +1, so it doesn't, unless you have hydrogen gas, which is 0. You had no hydrogen gas. So the obvious answer here is bravo. Okay. All right, guys. All right. Moving on to the next part. Let's do this. Oh, I love this one. This one is nice. Now here is a more fun question for me to do. I love these questions. These are balancing equations using oxidation numbers. I love this. Now it says phosphorus reacts with H2SO4 to produce phosphoric acid, sulfur dioxide, H2O. All of these are whole numbers. The equation can be used using balanced. You can be balanced using oxidation numbers. So that I can have more space, I will write the equation right here. H2SO4 plus phosphorus becomes H3PO4 plus SO2 plus H2O. And I'll move this in the middle of the thing, and I will just get some more space. So now what do I know? I know oxidation stage for each of these guys. H is +1, S is +6, O is -2, P is 0. Here H is +1, P is +5, O is -2, S is +4, O is -2, H is +1, O is -2. All the negatives I put on top, and you can notice all the O's are always the same, so I don't need us. Okay. And then what do I have next? I have H's also stay the same. You guys got deaf because of what? Because I was loud. It's okay. I'm loud. I'm very loud. Sorry. I am so sorry. I won't be. I will. I'm sorry. Like you said, I'm a Gen Z prankster. All right, so what do we have? So sulfur goes from +6 to +4. You notice that? And you know why I'm saying that? Because that is a decrease of how much? So now when I want to make this, come on. Yeah, that's easy, more fun like this. So sulfur is going down by 2. Well, you know what that means? It is gaining 2 electrons. That's what it means. And what's increasing? Phosphorus is increasing. It's going up by 5. That means it is losing 5 electrons. Okay, so 2 and 5, right? So that is a change in oxidation numbers. That is the number of electrons being exchanged. And so how do you balance the electron exchanged? So you multiply this by 5 and this by 2. So this is 2 to 2 and 5 to 5. And then you see if everything else works out. Okay, so 5 sulfurs, 5 sulfurs, 2 phosphorus, 2 phosphorus. And then now we talk about other guys. You got H2O. So now how many O's do I have? 5 4s are 20. 5 4s are 20. 2 4s are 8 plus 10 is 18. I need 20 here. So all I need is to put 2 H2O here. And now it seems like my O's are balanced. 5 4s are 20. 4 2s are 8, 10 and 2, 20. Now hydrogens. 5 times 2 is 10. And 3 times 2 is 6. Plus 4 is 10. All are balanced. Now 5 plus 2 plus 2 plus 5 plus 2. 10 and 16. Voila. Wallahi. The answer is delta. Delta. Hey? Delta D. Yeah. Yeah. I just realized many of you have never heard me live. So yes, I just assume people have heard me live teaching. Okay, moving on. Now question number 13 says the volume of ammonia produced against time is measured in 2 experiments. Experiment 1, 2. It seems that experiment 1 is slower but makes more. Experiment 2 is faster but makes less. That's important. In experiment number 1, 3 and 1 mole react at 45 degrees and a certain pressure. That's graph is shown. Experiment 2 differs from 1 in only one condition. So experiment 2 is faster but less yield. Now one thing you know about nitrogen and hydrogen is it's a equilibrium reaction. So if I change a factor for speed, I also have to figure out the same factor might affect equilibrium. What that means is Spector number is faster but less yield means that it has shifted to left hand side. The equilibrium has shifted left hand side. Now how can I make a reaction faster? By speed. So let's look at the options, right? So can a catalyst can increase speed, so rate increases but yield stays the same. Therefore it cannot be alpha. Then 2 moles of helium gas are present in the reaction mixture in the experiment. Now because you can add another gas, you can increase total pressure, which might increase the rate, but it also will increase the yield of ammonia because there are fewer moles of gas here, and now by increasing pressure it will go to the side to reduce pressure by making more ammonia. So, or the other flip argument is that helium is not a reacting gas, so it has its own partial pressure doesn't exist, but the overall pressure of the gas increases. But let's see, you can get a very straight up answer in the other options, right? So a higher pressure is used in experiment 2, which will increase rate, but like I said, it'll also increase yield. When you increase pressure, individual gases pressures increase and they react faster, but because of that it also will have a higher pressure, and therefore it will move to the side where there are fewer moles to lower the pressure. So yield will increase. But we wanted rate to be high and yield to be less. And that's where temperature, which means temperature increases, rate increases, and endo is favored. Very simply. And where is endo? Endo is back, left hand side, which means yield will decrease. And if you can do this whole question on your own, I am very proud of you. Yes, you can get the equilibrium right without me explaining all of this. If you got this right without fluking it, I am very, very proud of you. Yes. But if you fluked it, then we have serious issues to talk about. Now, moving on to the next part of the question. Yes, next question. Asher, I don't think you're on 240 hertz, unless 240 hertz is the name of a new narcotic. Why would you answer the same question 3 times? D, 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 D. Like, I'm just wondering. We heard it the first time. Now, this here is a pretty easy question. When Kp has no units, that means they cancelled out. What simply means is that there are equal terms on the product side and the reactant side. Here I have 2 terms on the reactant side and 2 on the product side. So the units cancel out. Cancelled units. Therefore, it's very obviously A. When you work any of these 3 things out, like for example, Charlie, there is one term of gas on the numerator, but 2 terms of the gas on the denominator. So they don't cancel out. Yep. Easy peasy. Yabba do. Isha, you should be studying every single hour of the day that you're not eating or sleeping, which means a good 15 hours at least. Because you have the rest of your life to mess around, or the rest of the summer to mess around. Doubly screwed? No. I guarantee you when you get your result bad, you'll say that's the real screw. Not this. Working hard is not getting screwed. Don't sound like you guys are made for a life of just eating and doing no work. What is this burnout people talk about? There's no burnout. Burnout is for, like, I'm sorry, but like, honest to God, like, I've been working for straight 23 years and studying for like 10, 15 years before. Not a season of break. There is nothing called burnout, especially if you're committed. Burnout only happens when you're not committed, when you physically exert yourself for more than that. So if you're physically burning out, that's why I said sleep. 9 hours of sleep, 8 hours of sleep, 7 hours of sleep. That's it. There's 2 kinds of burnouts. Burnout by complete physical exhaustion, that is possible. But if you study 15 hours a day, that's not a burnout. You should be sleeping the rest of the time. Unless for 9 hours you're watching Netflix and then you want to study 15 hours, obviously it'll be a burnout. But if you actually do this, if you actually are going to take 7 hours of sleep, 2 hours for food, and study 15 hours, where's the burnout? Yes, distractions are a different problem. Do what I did when I was your age. I gave up all my phones and my computers. You might say, well, that was easy for you. Yeah, I gave up every single distraction. It was easy to do. Because you want to get distracted because you're already bored. The more bored you are, the more you get distracted. And when you're studying for exams, you are the most bored. So you're most likely to get distracted. You're just looking for entertainment. Sir, no, Adam, when I was in high school, I didn't even have internet at home. Forget a phone. No, we had landlines. I'm ancient. When I did my A-levels, I was in 1998. O-levels was 1996. 3310 came after I graduated from college, university. So please, how will we take your class? I don't have more classes. These are the videos. What are the most important chapters in Heather? What do you mean by important? Important means What gets tested? Organic, inorganic, what was tested? So landline was a distraction. I don't even think many people know what a landline is. Landline is a distraction because you wanted to pick up the phone before your parents picked up the phone because your girlfriend might be calling. So that was the only problem. I'm the O. Yes, I'm a gangster though. Line through the land. Yes. Yes, I like that. Okay. Now let's get back here. Let's get back to this, right? The paper shenanigans. I hope you guys are enjoying this. Based. I don't understand. Sime, you just said based. Are you saying baked? That I'm baked? No, Sime. I'm not the one baked. I guarantee you. Okay. Am I so based? What does mean by so based? Okay, I have no idea. Biased? I am. Everybody's biased in life. What's wrong with you? Oh, is a slang term. Biased is a slang term that is used to describe someone who is confident in the beliefs and is not afraid to be different. Absolutely. Hell yeah. That's what Google is telling me. I did. Thank you guys. I learn new shit every day. Now, if only chemistry was the exam of the Urban Dictionary, this would be awesome, wouldn't it? Yeah, Gen Z brain rotten. You should hear my daughter, 11-year-old Gen Alpha. Her terms are even worse. Now, 15. Gas Q decomposes slowly at room temperature. The Boltzmann curve for this gas is right here. What change occurs when a catalyst is added to gas Q? So a catalyst will lower the activation energy, and now more molecules will have energy that can react. So the peak does not move. The number of particles with the minimum energy happens. The kinetic energy increases. No, it only increases because of temperature. The value of EA decreases, moving the vertical dotted line to the right. That's wrong. People heard of it decreases, but there is a new EA. The catalyzed EA is lower. It shifts to the left, not the right. So, the answer is bravo. Yeah, skibbity. I've heard skibbity. What the skibbity? Sigma, you're so... yeah, so mid. And then there was one about stealing, like shadow stealing, ghost stealing, something. I don't know what was that, you know. I swear to God, she gave me a whole list to learn. I haven't learned it yet. But yeah, skibbity and sigma. Yes, I have heard that. I didn't know when that became from a very dirty word to just a word everybody uses. In my time, res just was not spoken of in common everyday language in front of different people. Now, everybody's got res, or everybody's looking for res. And I'm like, phantom tax. Or why is it called phantom tax? I thought it was phantom tax. That's it. Oh, phantom tax. Oh, I get it now. What is, so I got the cameras. Phantom. I thought it was phantom tax. Why did I think it was phantom tax? A Lami's phone. Yeah, somebody wants to stay in chemistry. Yes, that is true. We should stay in chemistry. Now, where are we? Okay, then. Sorry, guys. Let's move on. Now, number 16. Now, which statement is correct here? Aluminum chloride has a giant ionic lattice. This is where people got wrong. Al is covalent in nature. If you remember, this was a trigonal planar example. AlCl3 is trigonal planar, always covalent. Yes, aqueous AlCl3 might make ions, but AlCl3 is not giant covalent. Now NaCl dissolves in water but does not make hydrogen chloride. The strong covalent bonds of silicon chloride prevent it from reacting with water. That's wrong. SiCl4 reacts with water. SiCl4 plus 2 moles of water makes SiO2 plus 4HCl. So that reaction is also wrong. And delta, when PCl5 is added to water, the resulting solution conducts electricity. Yes. Oh, sorry. So A is incorrect. They want a correct equation. So A is incorrect. People think this. The answer is delta. And why? Because when PCl5 is added to water, it makes two acids, H3PO4 and HCl. And this is acidic, and acidic solutions conduct current. So the answer here is delta. People think alpha is correct. No, it's not. It's wrong. Okay? Yes. Cambridge. Keep the through Adam. Well, maybe you like their Kirat. I don't know who the hell Cambridge is. Anyways, moving on. I know, it does fascinate me too. Why? I like no controversy. I don't like controversies. I mean, you know what? After 25 years, you're just too tired of all these new people coming in, flashy stuff. It's like old. They get old very fast. Now let me repeat. The reason why A is not true, to the person who wanted to stay on chemistry and still did not figure out the chemistry when I explicitly stated the chemistry as the first part of the answer, is that AlCl3 is covalent. It's always covalent. I wrote it in English right here. Right there. It's covalent. When something is covalent, it cannot be ionic. Just like if something is a boy, it cannot be a girl unless you're transitioning, which something we don't all agree on. I don't. Same with ionic compounds. If you're ionic, you cannot transition to be covalent. If you're covalent, you cannot be ionic. Simple as that. AlCl3 is covalent. And because we even make it in shapes of molecules. Absolutely shots fired. When you pick on me, you better be ready to, punch back. If you want to do chemistry, do chemistry. Come on. I said it right there. Sorry, somebody had to. Now, AlCl3 is giant ionic. Okay, it's not. We do it as something. If you even remember, AlCl3 make dative bonds to form Al2Cl6. How could you make dative bonds? What is another word for dative bonds? Coordinate covalent bonds. So all dative bonds are covalent. They're not ionic. So it's a fact. The fact that I'm just the best. It's a fact. So this is the fact. AlCl3 is covalent. And then somebody says, why is Charlie wrong? Well, because there is no prevention of reaction. If you knew any theory from period 3, SiCl4, which is for Charlie, does react with water. So that's wrong. It's never prevented from reacting water. In fact, it is the opposite. It reacts with water. Okay. Okay, now after that, someone want to no, I don't think so. Yeah, I love energy. Thank you very much. Is it a simple chloride? Which is a simple chloride? I don't know which. Somebody asked for Asher. I have no idea what that meant. Krivi, which we think, no, Al2O3 are covalent, are ionic. Like, are there other examples? Yes, there are some examples. The examples we study in bonding and shapes of molecules. Beryllium BeCl2 BF3, AlCl3, AlBr3, AlI3. All of those guys, and this is by the way done in the first lecture of bonding in the course. How can you figure out which compound is ionic and which is covalent? It is by using the difference in electronegativities, and I've taught that in that lesson. Please watch it, might help. Sir, I mean that SiCl was simple, that why can it easily? Yes, it can easily dissolve in water. No, Asher, just because something is simple doesn't mean it can easily dissolve in water. No, Heather, my lectures are not all on YouTube. Some of my lectures are on, most of my lectures are on Alt Academy's platform. Asher, CCl4 is simple and it does not dissolve in water. CH4 is simple, does not dissolve in water. Some do, some don't. SiCl4 is simple and reacts with water. CCl4 does not. Okay, so just because something is simple doesn't mean it will react with water. All right. Now, capiche? Next up. I know we need more session. We'll do more sessions. Okay. Polarity is also not a factor. Sometimes it is. This is a reaction, Muhammad Ahmed. This is not dissolving. Please do not confuse this with dissolving. This is not dissolving. This is reacting, not dissolving. Dissolving is just polarity and ion separating. This was a difficult question. Most people struggle with this question. Okay. A mixture of calcium carbonate, calcium nitrate, strontium carbonate, strontium nitrate are all thermally decomposed. The decomposition of reaction of each substance goes to completion. Each is anhydrous. Oh, how many different? So calcium carbonate and calcium nitrate and strontium carbonate and strontium nitrate. So this makes calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. This makes calcium oxide, nitrogen dioxide and oxygen. I'm just making the product, right? And then strontium carbonate makes strontium oxide and carbon dioxide, already have that. And strontium nitrate makes strontium oxide, already have that, so don't need that. Nitrogen dioxide, already have that. Oxygen, already have that. So this are the total different products made. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So here the answer is bravo. Asher, are you just reading the answer of the marking scheme? Because you can't do all this faster than me, or have you done it before? Muhammad Ahmed, that's okay. Abir, that's fine. Abir, Muhammad Ahmed. There's so many names that are just gender neutral, like Bakhtawar, Abir. I have no idea. You guys are guys or girls? Okay. This one is, did you guys say this one is C? No. Or you talking about the previous one? Bakhtawar. All right. Thank you, Bakhtawar. Yeah. I know a guy also. I know a girl also. So I'm just saying. Yeah. Abir Muhammad Ahmed. Okay, Abir Muhammad Ahmed. Thank you. So, you remember some of the answers in the mark. I'm a bird. Adam Shahzad. Croissant. Heather Naveed is a croissant. He is croissant. And I am the Prince of Egypt. Moving on to 18. Okay, so W is a solid that reacts with water to produce an alkaline solution. So most likely W is a base, like an oxide. Okay, and then like sodium oxide, magnesium oxide, that kind of thing. Then the addition of 2 drops of acid to this alkaline solution produces a white precipitate. Ooh, so the white precipitate is a sulfate. Do you know of any precipitate that is a sulfate? Barium. So that makes it easy. It's barium. So all these three are bases, but barium is the one that precipitates with sulfate ions. Easy peasy. See, some questions are so easy. Now it says chlorine gas is reactive with cold NaOH. You remember that reaction, right? It's disproportionation. You need two NaOHs and one chlorine becomes reduced and one chlorine is oxidized, and you also make some water. Yeah. So what do we have? Chlorine is both oxidized and reduced. Wallahi. Absolutely. That's easy. That's why it's called disproportionation. If you don't know this, you have very big problems in your theory. Group 2 sulfate solubility decreases down the group. Absolutely, Isha. Is Isha or Isha? The longer one or the shorter one? Yeah, Aisha. I know. No, interpretation or like pronunciation basically. Sodium is added to water to form solution Y. Sodium is added to water to form solution Y. You know what solution Y is? When you add sodium to water, it becomes sodium hydroxide. The pH is measured. So that's NaOH. That's what, like pH is like 13, 14, right? When a powdered substance is added to Y, the pH falls. So Y is alkaline. So X is acidic. So acidic or even neutral, because when a powdered substance, okay, not so powdered substance therefore is acidic, which either acidic or that neutralizes alkali. Anything that's acidic or neutralizes alkali. So this is the whole question here. It says sodium is added to water to form Y. The sodium to water makes a solution NaOH, that is Y. Then Y plus X makes the pH lower, which now is the pH here is 13. Lower means it is being neutralized by an acid, which means that X is either acidic or amphoteric, because amphoteric can react with alkali. So basically X has to react with alkali. I know. Okay, thank you. All right, yes, that's what's going on. So you have, so first of all, it cannot be these two. So I'll tell you what it can't be. It cannot be K, because that's alkaline. So either it's alpha or Charlie. The problem is the difference is between MgCl2 and NaCl. MgCl2 is an acidic chloride. Remember, the only thing that's neutral chloride is NaCl. So MgCl2 is acidic. pH is about 6.5. Remember, in period 3 theory, 6.5. So that will lower it. It's acidic, it will neutralize that. And Al2O3 is amphoteric. Okay, so the answer here is alpha. All right. Whatever you were thinking. All right, so guys, we have only done half a paper. Good fun class. I will have to do the second half of this again next week. Okay, yes, so stay tuned. Stay tuned. But I would say this probably wraps up today. Right now I got to do a few things, and yeah, I gotta get out and get a couple of things sorted, so else I would have continued. It was fun having this class. I thoroughly enjoyed my time, and inshallah we will see you again and we shall do another class. Okay, for sure. Okay. All right, where can I buy? Somebody wants to buy me. Where can I buy you? I'm too expensive for you, Heather. Yeah, thank you, Isha. He thinks he's still in America. Yeah, lol. Bye, guys. Hasta la vista. Well, that's where you guys are. I'm like, where are you guys? I'm reading because I gotta read your text there and your cameras there and like all of that stuff. All right. Ciao. Bye. Bye bye. Oh yes, sorry, I did not turn the